Hello and welcome. I'm Chrissy. This is my YouTube channel, Chrissy Love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Everyone who supported me for the past few years I'm doing this channel, I just really appreciate you all. I haven't posted in probably about 6 months. YouTube sent me an email reminding me of that. I did take a break, and it wasn't entirely on purpose that it was supposed to be that long. But life happened, and a little history on my channel. This is going to be kind of more of a deep dive personal video than usual. I started my channel over COVID because I was watching video after video after video, collecting all these perfumes. And I decided after a while of collecting and sniffing and educating myself that I had something to say. I had an opinion on perfumes, and it was never about influencing. It was never about selling anything or getting someone else to buy anything. It was just, this is my opinion. And if you like it, great. If you disagree, let's talk about it. And it was just about being part of the fragrance community from the very beginning. That's truly all it's ever been about. And I get as much satisfaction from people saying, I listened to your review and I decided not to buy that perfume. I'm like, good, don't waste your money. It sucks. I've always been really honest because there's just no other way to be for me in my life. And so my channel grew organically, and I have had a lot of fun with it. And the thing is, there's been a downside to it that I have to be honest about. And it's a personal downside, not saying it applies to anyone else but myself, but it has led me to be a consumer, to really overconsume purchasing, not just perfume, but fashion in general. And I think that's what I actually wanted to get on here to say today and to talk about a little bit. And maybe it will ring true with somebody else, or maybe it's just me. I feel like, especially with perfume, there's always something new to buy. It never ends. I would buy one and love it and think, oh, this is my signature scent. And then the next Miss Dior would come out and it'd be like, oh, I have to have that one. Or, something gourmand that really strikes a nerve with me. I just love gourmands would come out. I'd be like, oh, well, I have to have that too. And I'd look up and I'd have 300 bottles of perfume that I put thousands of dollars into. And being a business owner, never really had that kind of change. I'll be honest. I'm not a rich person or independently wealthy person. And every once in a while I'd get maybe a brand deal, so to speak, of a smaller independent house want me to review some perfume. So I might get a couple of free samples or something. But these brands were not sending me their perfume for free. I have been buying them all along. Almost every perfume I've ever reviewed, I purchased, or I got a sample up from Dillard's or something. I kind of started to find ways to be more economical about it over time. But it opened up this floodgate for me where my personality is I just really love shopping. It's a hobby, it's a passion, and it's not just perfume. I buy clothing, I buy shoes. I am a consumer. I'm just going to put it all out there. There's nothing self-righteous about it. I am definitely a consumer in this American society, and I do what a lot of us do. And I just spend money, and I have to be honest about it. And it's kind of embarrassing, honestly, to say it out loud, especially on camera. This thing is just drilling into my soul right now while I'm saying this. But I think for me to turn a new corner and to start a new chapter in my life and to reach some financial goals that I have for myself beyond consuming, I think I need to say this out loud. So I'm saying it out loud to you for the first time. And so I want to talk about it. So if you want to stay tuned and hear more of my thoughts, come along for the ride, because that's what we're doing today. So I want to tell you a bit about my background of what I've been up to since starting the channel. When I first started the channel, I had an operations consulting business. And so I was and still am an operations manager for hire for other companies. And so during COVID, the PUA program happened, and there was a lot of assistance for people with their own businesses, which was a first in history and absolutely incredible. So I was staying at home, quarantining. I did live in Vermont at the time, and we took quarantining extremely seriously. You are just really not supposed to leave your house. And so I did that. And so I had a lot of time to sit and think and purchase online and like play with perfumes. I had a lot of fun with that. We'll speed up ahead a couple of years. And I actually ended up moving to Wilmington, North Carolina, because I just wanted to try something different. I was so sick of the cold in Vermont. And I had vacationed a few times in Charleston, South Carolina, and was just absolutely in love with it. So I figured, let's try something different. So when I moved, I took my operations consulting business with me. And when I got here, I met my now partner, Mark, and we also started a video production business, as the film industry is a big part of the Wilmington, North Carolina culture. And I did some background work. I did some stand-in work. We bought some equipment, drone, camera. So now at this moment, I have 2 businesses going at the same time. And we also have a horror film festival we put on in October here in Wilmington. So we really have 3 businesses, if you think about it that way. The film festival is definitely its own can of worms. So that being said, I found myself looking for something beyond just consuming and just purchasing and the way that I look and smell. I'm really active in my local community here. I've made some really amazing girlfriends here. I do a lot of networking. There's just more out there for me now. I'm not stuck in my little condo anymore, just smelling perfumes to entertain myself. I have a lot to do. I'm busy. And along with that, and also I guess with age, as I get older, I'm assessing what I want my future to look like and how I can invest in that. And I'm not there yet. I'm not at my end goal yet of what I want my life to be financially, socially, career-wise. Like, there is just so much more for me to do. And to be completely honest, spending all this money on things is taking me further away. It's not getting me closer to where I really want to be. I want to be investing in my businesses, and I want to not be so attached to perfumes. I still love perfumes. I'm always going to own them, but I think I'm ready to have some personal favorites, to just like wear the same one a few days in a row and try some fun layering combinations with what I already have and stop searching for the next thing. I mean, I was in a few Facebook groups for fragrance that are so fun, but it never ends. Like, there's always something more to buy and people are hyping things up. And so I'd go out there and immediately be like, okay, I gotta have that new thing. It looks so good. Like, I knew I wasn't gonna spend money this month on perfume, but this just looks really, really good. I have to try it. And I'd buy it and I wouldn't like it. And I would just listen to everyone else's voice over my own. And it's time for me to change that. It's time for me to realize that there is no secret pill when it comes to perfume. There is no one be-all, end-all perfume that's going to change my life. In fact, there's probably not one thing I can buy in the whole world that can change my life. That's going to be me. It's either going to be changing my perspective on my life internally, or it's going to be good habits. It's going to be things that don't take money, that just take willpower, strength of character, going out there and just living my best life. And to be honest, it doesn't even matter what I'm wearing when I do it, what perfume or what clothing or what boots or whatever I'm wearing when I do it. As long as I'm doing it, I am making a leap forward in the progression of my life. And so that all being said, I do have some kind of guidelines I'm preparing for myself to kind of temper that desire to purchase, because it's definitely still there and it's really hard to fight it sometimes. So here are some things that I'm kind of playing with and I would love some feedback on. So I'm thinking I am selling off perfumes that I don't really wear, or that I've been keeping around because the bottle is pretty or because someone else really liked it. So, well, I better learn to like it because clearly it's a good perfume. Or someone else bought it for me and I actually didn't really enjoy it. So I have Mercari and I sell a lot on Mercari, and I've done a lot of purges throughout the years and I've sold plenty on there. So I have a pretty decent following. When I post something, it sells pretty quick. I'm pretty lucky like that. And so it's not just a matter of selling, of course, it's also not accumulating and getting more and not replacing them. So I have a rather small home here in Wilmington, and I have one shelf. It's behind me here. I also am not going to be exceeding the space that I have, which is helpful. Like, I think it's kind of like a minimalist tendency where if you don't have the space for something, you just don't have much of an urge to fill it. A bigger house just accumulates more stuff. So I have a pretty small house, which has been really good for me and my bad shopping habits because there's a capacity. And so I'm going to honor the capacity of my perfume shelf. That's one thing. I've also been, when I'm selling perfumes that I have some doubts on, like, oh, I might like it in the future, I just take a little 10 milliliter bottle and I can show you one. This is one that I filled up here from just like, there's only a little bit left in here, but it's just one that I was selling off and wanted to keep a little sample of, just to remind myself why I sold it. So I wouldn't go back and be like, oh, maybe I should rebuy it. Maybe I was wrong the first time. No, girl, you were right. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. So I have a whole bunch of these and I fill them up and I keep those samples. And that's been a really great way to take the pain out of getting rid of perfume, getting rid of that pretty bottle. I'm also trying to figure out what my signature scent profile really is. And so, I love gourmands and I'm just not fighting that anymore. I tried to do the oud thing. I tried to do the rose thing, but the reality is what I like is sweet, candy-like, sparkling florals with a lot of sweetness in them. Like, I'm just a girly girl. I'm not really an out of the box niche perfume lover. Like, if it's challenging in any way, it probably isn't something I'm really gonna wear. Not just because I don't like it, but because others around me also might not like it. And I always feel so self-conscious when I wear a perfume that's super challenging. And I know that some people will be like, wear what you want, girl. I don't want to. I just don't want to wear challenging perfumes. I like ones that make me feel free and happy and pretty and just like a little princess. Like, that's just what I like. So I'm not going to dishonor that need anymore. I'm not going to buy the perfumes because they're experimental and different. I'm just going to buy the ones I actually really like. I also am pledging to not rebuy anything I've already sold off, hence the sample size bottles, which help with that a lot. Because I've done that a few times where I thought that, oh, it's been a year, maybe I'll like it now. I spend the money all over again and I still don't like it. And then I act surprised, which is ridiculous. Like, I should not be surprised when for the second, third time around, I still don't like that darn perfume. So not making that mistake anymore if I can help it. I'm also just trying to use things up. So using the same perfume multiple days in a row. I have a shelf where I have my body creams, body sprays, and I believe the perfume that goes with them best, just paired together. So I'll probably change this out every month or so, but that way it's just an easy grab. So this just helps me move through them a little bit quicker. So when I'm doing like 2 sprays out of each bottle and it's all over the place, I'm not really getting that feedback of me actually moving through a perfume and using it up. And so I'm kind of committing myself to using a few perfumes throughout the month and then maybe changing something else just to change it up. I'm also trying my very best to stay away from Bath & Body Works because I have a ridiculous amount of body creams and body sprays from them. And I just don't really need any more. Like, if something is truly unique that comes out, I might grab it. But a lot of them are pretty similar and meet pretty much the same need. And that goes to the perfumes too. There's a lot of perfumes that are very similar. And even if they're like 10% different, just a little bit different, you could rationalize getting another one. I'm like, you know what? I think I already have my pretty princess perfume. I think I already have my chocolate perfume. I think I already have my, I don't know, like Starburst candy smelling perfume. Like, I don't, just because I enjoy that scent doesn't mean I need to get it 10 times over. I can just have one bottle and that's probably enough. I think the general, if there was a word I would be going into this year with, it probably is enough. Just call it. Just be done. Just stop buying more. You have enough. You will never be without fragrance. Like, I literally could douse myself in perfume every day. And I imagine for the rest of my life, I'll probably have enough just with my current collection. And yeah, I'm going to sell some stuff and try some new stuff. I'm not saying that the perfume journey is over for me, but let's be real. You have to pause at some point and just say, when is it enough? If it's not now, when is it? What is enough going to be for me in my collection? And maybe that's what collecting is. Maybe collecting is it never being enough. That you just love the process so much that it really is more about the journey than the destination of finding enough. And that's fine and that's good. And it's what I grew up with. You know, my family, I wouldn't call them hoarders. I would call them collectors. But both my parents at different times in their lives have definitely over collected and filled every crack and corner of their house with things. And I don't do that in general, but I will admit that the perfume got me. It got me. Like, I definitely followed that trend way down into the trenches. And here I am, kind of trying to get back up. So those are my thoughts on derailing my obsession with perfume, just kind of learning to appreciate what I already have and not constantly seeking out the next best thing. Because something that's more important than the high and the feeling I get from collecting perfume is that I have a future. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but spending money, every dollar I spend is a dollar less that is going toward my savings, investments, maybe getting a bigger house someday, reaching those bigger dreams. So yeah, spending 30, 50 bucks on something now, it doesn't mean I can't pay my mortgage. But if I do that 10 times in a month, well, now that's a lot of money. And it's so easy to do. Like, I am definitely a shopaholic. I could do it all day, every day. It is my passion. It's how I release steam. It's just how I relax. Like, I really enjoy it. I just love shopping and spending money. And it's not even about having the like designer fancy thing. I don't care about Louis Vuitton bags. Like, I don't care about status symbols. It's just, I really love the process of the hunt. And after this many years, I just need to admit to myself, and I guess to a broader audience, just to hold me accountable, that it's not working. If I could give back all the things I purchased and get that money back, I like literally want to cry thinking about what I could do with that money. Like, where I would be in my life if I could give it all back. I'd be living a very different lifestyle right now. Not to say I have regrets. Not really. Because I have enjoyed the journey. And I do love fashion. And my life is still pretty good. I work hard. I make money, the best way that I can. And my life is not horrible whatsoever. Every day is still a joy for me. But you do have to wonder sometimes what you could have done differently. Not to hold on to the regret, but to move forward and be different. And just because you've done something one way your whole life doesn't mean you have to keep doing it that way. As long as you are breathing, you can change. And that is what I'm really holding on to this year and challenging myself to look at things a bit differently and make decisions based on my larger goals as opposed to my little tendencies, my little excitement, my little YOLO moments. Because it's time. It's time for change. I still love the things that I love, and I'm not going to just stop loving them or stop enjoying them. Like your hobbies are what make life worth living sometimes. When you're mired in work, sometimes that's like what honestly gets you through. And I am not suggesting that anyone let go of the things that bring them joy at all, at all. But how do I do both? How do I balance both? That is what I want to work on. And how do I distract myself from the need to consume? I've been trying to go for daily walks, do more socializing with friends, reading, staying up on the news, trying to take the clothing I already have and fashion it together differently. I really am trying to keep that excitement and joy in my life without it hinging on spending money to get it. Yeah. That's going to be the big one for me. That's going to be hard. It's actually going to be hard because whenever I lack willpower, what do? I start scrolling and start shopping again. It's too easy. They purposely make it too easy. So that's got to stop for me. I want that time back. I want that money back. I'll never get it back from past me, but maybe I can prevent future me from making that mistake. So yeah, this video wasn't really about perfume, I guess, but about a lot of other things that I really needed to say and get off my chest. So thank you for listening. What is the future of this channel? I don't know. Maybe I'll talk more about how I'm going through perfumes and like tactics for using them up meaningfully, or finding ways to donate or share them with others. I'm hoping that it'll be a lot less about just buying and reviewing new perfumes, because there's a lot of people out there who do a really, really good job at that. I think I did too, but there's a lot of people out there who are on the cutting edge and who I love to watch and who are so fun. And